What's the worst part of depression? Feeling good one minute, finding yourself crying and feeling despaired the next, only because something or someone triggered you. Like just today, was feeling down because it's another beautiful sunny Sunday and stuck alone, decided to go for a drive, put on loud music and raced a couple of strangers on the road, and that made me feel better. Then something which I don't even know triggered me and found myself holding back the tears in traffic. It breaks you down. You don't have the energy to go to work and meet with people or to study. You can't focus, you don't enjoy the simple things in life which used to give you pleasure. It's like a leech attached to you 24/7 which you are trying to hide from the world, and it's fucking draining. Feeling like I don't appreciate my family. My life is pretty good now. But some days I just wish I were dead. How long have you got? Getting dismissed by your immediate family that you have nothing to be depressed about, and that you should simply try going for a walk outside. The fact that people don't believe you because it's all in your head. You know the advice they give you, don't think about it. Go for long walks. Exercise. If you don't think about it, you won't be depressed. There is something wrong with my brain and it needs to be treated with medical intervention. You see a guy with a broken leg, you don't immediately walk up to him and say get up. Walk it off. If you don't think about your leg, it won't be broken anymore. No, you get him help and months of follow-up. Trying to keep up with everything when you're just exhausted. That to me was one of the most difficult parts, especially if you're trying to hide it and make it seem like everything is alright. Being super irritable and harsh to the ones who love and depend on you. Everything becomes heavier. Every single thing. Yes. Nothing interests you anymore. You feel dead, even the things you have loved before, is like nothing to you now frowns. The worst part about being depressed is people expect you to behave as if you're not. For me, it's the broken reward circuit in your brain. If I'm just feeling sad and having a bad day, getting off the couch and hammering away at a project helps a ton. When it's the big sad, waking up early and being productive does absolutely nothing. Just dead. It's just that being unproductive makes it worse, but the opposite doesn't seem to make it better. The self-isolation, I like being alone where ye too much it's unhealthy. Also the mood swings can be brutal. The forgetfulness is so real. I have about a 2-year gap in my memory from when I was seriously depressed. It's so weird. I fucking hate summer. It's always one of the worst times. The loneliness that sinks in when depression makes me isolate from people, but the loneliness also convinces me that none of my friends is my friends, if you know what I mean. It's a never-ending cycle that is very, very hard to get out of. For me it's actively knowing I need to get up and get moving to help raise my energy or mood, but I'm physically incapable of getting out of bed. Literally trapped in my body and won't allow myself to do the things I know will improve my situation. The lack of energy to get things done despite wanting to. Smiling for the picture, and it's so difficult because it feels physically impossible. Crying yourself to sleep and night feeling like you're imperfect and nobody will ever love you. Not taking care of yourself and not being interested in anything. Realizing you never smile anymore. The guilt of not being able to handle basic life shit, like dishes and bills. The upkeep of everything. When you can't clean or organize your stuff and watch everything getting really gross while at the same time lacking the willpower and energy to even bring the dirty dishes in the kitchen. The complete loss of who you are. You remember having a personality, hobbies, pretty much any desire to do anything. And then it's just gone. You don't want to talk to anyone, you don't even want to get up and use the bathroom. You could lay in bed for hours and not even notice because your brain has just completely and totally shut down on you. It is isolating and exhausting to experience, and all the while you're blaming yourself for being so useless and pathetic. You literally just lose yourself. ETA, since this comment has blown up, I feel compelled to add, depression doesn't manifest the same for everyone. If you feel like you need help, there are resources available. It is possible to improve and find yourself. You can also always message me and I will respond. When people have given you all the help and support they can, but you still need more, so they get frustrated and give up. The worst part for me is the negative inner voice. When I get that feeling like I don't matter, I am of no use, I have no valid purpose for anything in life, and if I disappear no one would really be impacted much, they'd be sad but would recover quickly. That starts me down a horrible path of negative behaviors so quickly. People pull away from you and you are often left with no one. I get why people do this and they are perfectly within their rights to do so. However, nothing makes you feel worse than turning around and realizing you have no support network when you need it most. How it feels insurmountable and feels pointless to try and overcome, which only strengthens it. The self-hatred for being so useless while also not being able to do anything about it. The sudden crash after a little upswing. The flattening, daily ennui. Honestly, that feeling where you're not suicidal but you also don't want to exist. So you often just spend time thoughtlessly and blankly staring at the wall. Believing you don't matter even to yourself. Sometimes you are too depressed to help yourself or even reach out to others for help. It's very scary. People don't listen, or they try to tell you how to get over it or to just be happy. Like shit, why didn't I think of that? The misery you feel when doing things you know you would enjoy. Everything feeling hollow. Even when you find happiness, it never goes away. Worrying about how it's ruining ambitions and goals you had and getting more depressed as a result. Which then leads to more destructive habits that make achieving those goals less likely. One of the many cycles of depression. The hours wasted in bed, just staring at a screen. Or kind of coming out of depression and not having any time to do anything with your day just to realize that your weekend is over. Or not having energy or drive to do anything besides work, and then just like that all you're doing is working, and that's terrible. The actual depression. People don't really know and then can't do much when they do know. Functional depression, when you can somewhat function and survive but you're dead inside. No one even thinks you're depressed and you're incredibly lonely. The sheer feeling of emptiness you get struck with. The part where you're too depressed to do anything about your own depression. Answering these kind of questions. The pain never seems to go away regardless of how much you try. I keep to myself for a while. Then I eventually tell a friend a watered-down version of how I feel, and they say they feel similar even though they seem to be doing great. Then I feel like they aren't grasping how bad I feel and my friend can't understand me. Then I feel like maybe they are depressed too and I'm being judgmental. Then I see all the stuff they have going in their life and I think if they have all that and are depressed, will I ever not be? Then I go inward again. Also, OCD isn't great. Being fully aware of your depression, but not caring enough to actually do anything about it. The apathy and loss of interest. The inability to summon the energy and focus to do the things that make you happy. Knowing that so much time has been wasted and so many moments lost because you were suffering and incapable of getting up. For me, it's the exhaustion and the lack of motivation. I've been dealing with this for 20 years. I just want to feel rested and I want to feel like doing something. I've lived long enough without feeling emotions, so that's not too high on my list. I'm used to non-stop intrusive thoughts. I've been on nearly every medication, every kind of therapy. I've had my brain electrocuted. And I'm starting ketamine treatment tomorrow. Mine is cyclical, and so no matter how many times I make it through or how long I can fight it off, I know it's eventually going to start all over again and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Besides all the obvious answers, it's knowing while in a depressive period there will be severe consequences if you do get at the other end. Broken relationships, racked up debts and years of your life stolen away from you. I'm too emotionally tired right now to give an in-depth answer. Self-pity. Just straight up disgust directed toward yourself but continuing the cycle anyway. When you don't have anyone to help you through it. Hating being alive. Knowing you still have a long time to live. Fucking exhausting. The guilt. Guilt over not getting things done. Guilt because I feel like I'm letting others down. Guilt for not being fully present for the people I love. Not having the energy to look after myself, even though it makes me more depressed after the fact. Feeling like your life is just passing you by. My inner dialogue. She's a real fucking cunt. The suffering in silence part. When no one around you understands, so you have to hide it. Which makes you feel so alone and your failures make you feel like a burden. But still, you can't talk to anyone, because your loved one's words may hurt you and there is no rational way to explain how you feel. You suffer in silence, alone, desperate and hopeless, because it's only you. The indifference to everything. The apathy and numbness. Thanks for the award. It is a never-ending battle. Some good days, some bad days, but it always there.